Everybody knows we are working with chrome moly steel. We are safe, well, we are sure that we don't want to change to aluminum, and that's our philosophy. And well, was there any need to modify that frame?
Yeah, I mean, as you already mentioned before, we had a lot of meetings together with our Supercross team, with Roger De Costa, and the list was really long. My plan was to have a little bit more vacation this year.
Honestly, I've never seen Barney so stressed in the last 20 years. I think he lost some hair within the last half year.
Yeah. But at the end, it was two main issues. One was for sure the weight, so we concentrate on the weight side, and also they were asking to have a little bit more stability, especially for fast tracks and also for Supercross. So what we did on the frame side, for the weight, which we are using now smaller tubes. The lower tubes are the same dimension what we used on the previous two-stroke models. So we could reduce the weight at about 100 grams. Beside this, we also were working a lot with the headstays, so we moved back the position of the fixing points from the headstays. For us, that's always very important, because with the headstays, you can influence a lot the function, the comfort and the stability on the one side. So you always try to get good comfort, but on the other hand, you can also have influence for the vibration issues. So we designed a new headstay configuration, and there's also one small detail. This plate we are using now in the steering head area. So we tried in this direction where the suspension is working, it's not stiff, so you even can bend it with your fingers, so you don't lose comfort. But sideways, for the flex, we tried to make it more rigid to get out more stability. So it's only a small detail, but the outcome is really good. And
actually it's also a feature proven and tested by Ryan Dungey, and actually we are working really very close together with the race department. Every week we get the feedback from all our race activities, have a big round table where we come all together and try to implement all the feedback right into the future developments.
Yeah, and the second thing what we increased to get out more stability was the rear axle. So that was a special request from the US guys, especially for Supercross, but we also tested then on the motocross track, and also for our guys it was a big benefit to get a little bit more stability, especially if you have deep sand tracks. Therefore, we think it's a big improvement for the motocross bike. So therefore we also had to reinforce the rear area for the swing, from the swing arm. Besides this, also on the swing arm we tried to reduce the weight. So now for the link system we are using aluminium bushings instead of steel. So therefore we are using high quality aluminium with a special coating to reduce also friction. And like small details, the nut, instead of 30mm height, we went to 10 and shortened the bolts. So all in all, we tried to reduce the weight on almost every single part.
Barney, suspension. We are using the proven closed cartridge fork. What did you do for the new models?
So on the suspension side, our colleagues from WB, they are concentrating to develop a complete new oil. So the target was to reduce friction and also to get out more constant damping. So they spend a lot of time and work to develop together with a Japanese brand to develop a new oil. So the biggest benefit is that it's not adding on damping after 10 hours, so it's really a constant damping what you have. And for sure also for the modifications and the new engines, we also have to make new settings for every bike, and we are using now harder springs for 250 and 450, I think because also of the less friction what we have.
In terms of triple clamps, Barney, why do you change triple clamp from year to year? I do not understand.
That's fun.
That's fun.
For sure, one of the benefits, we are using machine triple clamps, so we are free.
It's easy to change.
To change it every year. No, for sure, also on this side we try to reduce the weight, so we came up with a solution where we can reduce weight at about 80 grams. And for the new designed front fender, we are now having 2 fixing points on the bottom and 2 from the front. So that's also why we had to make new triple clamps. So you see here, design-wise, also on the front fender, for us it was important to get more rigid front fender without adding on weight. Normally you increase wall thickness, but with this solution we tried to have a triangle here to get out a really stiff solution, but even with less wall thickness. So you will see it on the track that there is less movement compared to the previous.
So you could improve the stiffness actually up to 50%
Yeah.
without adding any weight.
Yeah, and also without having a complex bottom area, so there's no space or not a lot of space for the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Good. Actually, this leads us straight into the bodywork. Bodywork, of course, it's cosmetic, it's optic, but it's also very important for a rider to have a good feel on the bike, not to hook in with your boots, and have a good contact area to the bike. It gives the harmony from rider to the bike. Barney, what did you do in terms of the bodywork?
Yeah, I mean, bodywork, like I already mentioned, front fender, number plate is new. On the spoiler, we concentrate to try to make a little bit nicer surface here. Also the area where you slide with the knee, we modified slightly. But at the end, you will feel it. It's from my point of view, a small step, but you feel it. And
the fuel tank?
Fuel tank. We had to, the 2012 model, we came up with a new fuel pump for the EXE model. The big benefit is that it's just one single part. You can mount it from one direction. Therefore, we could reduce the length of the tubes. Also, the tube for the fuel is not outside anymore. Everything is inside. So you could reduce the weight and also the function. There is no quick locker anymore. And also the connector on top is the same what we have on the Enduro.
And that's actually the benefit I see for myself, because I don't need to work on the bike. I'm just a user, and I can now mount a larger fuel tank for my cross-country races or desert races coming from the Enduro bikes. So now we have one common system. You can exchange fuel tanks. That's
it's also for race team.
Yeah.
I mean, they only use 2 times a year a bigger tank, especially for the deep sand races. So our competitors, they always have eye killers.
Yeah.
Or egg killers. They are really...
Yeah, actually,
I would
it
not
looks
like to race with this stuff. In our case, you just mount the enduro tank, which has 1.5 liter more capacity, and for sure it's a little bit wider down here, but it's not like the handmade other things.
Yeah. Barney, the airbox. You also changed the surface of, or the outer shape of the airbox?
Yeah, in the airbox, in this area, it was also improvement for holding the bike. In this end, on the other side, we have more distance to the air filter. So in this area, we are a little bit wider to have more space to the filter.
And the air boots?
The air boots, for sure, for every displacement, we developed a complete new air boot. I mean, 250 and 450 for sure with the new engine. We need anyway a new one, but also for the 350, we made complete new design. So the target was to have a stiffer air boot, especially the big improvement is the throttle response. So you do not have the movement because the other one is always sucking. And then
we are vibrating. Actually, it's also a feature coming out of the race team. They always implemented some inserts to make that boot more stiff, and you made it now production-wise as a standard feature.
Because they were always asking for more response.
Good. Barney, actually, I think we are pretty close to the final point. In terms of wheels, you already mentioned the larger rear axle. So the rear wheels have larger bushings, but you can use your old wheels also if you have.
Yeah. So the difference is just the bushing. So in case if a rider has a second rear wheel, he just has to buy new bushings, and then he can also use the old bushing.
And spokes, all our off-roaders, enduro minis and motocrossers have now black spokes for the new model, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And we also made new rim locks.
Yeah.
So especially for the front, we could reduce. I mean, it's only 18 grams, but for the front, it's a huge improvement because you don't feel the rim lock anymore.
Next topic, it's my favorite topic. Have a look, Didi. Didi Lacher, I remember the story for many years. Every year he was asking for a different handlebar. And I said, hey, the handlebar we've been using the last year, it's the handlebar Ken Roxon has been using for years, and at least, did you make it to be world champion? But nevertheless, we listen to you guys, and also, to be honest, we got some feedback from the US guys, and they intensively also pushed that topic. Now, this is new rental fat bar. It's a fat bar, but with a bend of the 996 twin wall, and I think it's actually the best solution we could have. Also, some guys from the race team have switched to this handlebar type now. In addition, Barney also developed a new grip, 2 compound grips with KTM logo, so also this part has been improved. Barney, the 4-stroke exhaust, that's always a big effort because it's so important in terms of performance and in terms of noise. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, noise issue is getting more and more important, and for us the target was for sure to fulfill the new requirements, which will be from 2013 on 112 decibel. The good thing from our side is now that AMA and FIM, they are using the same regulation, so also for US and Europe we could use the same exhaust system. So for every displacement we have new headers. We are using hydroformed tubes, so therefore you are free for the design. You can make a cone where you want. So power-wise, for sure, it's a big step forward. On the 250, 350, we are using a resonance chamber. In the past, you used the resonance reservoir just to reduce the noise at about 4,500 up to 5,500 RPM. You concentrate to reduce the noise, but with the new regulation, it's not helpful anymore. But you get out also more torque in the mid. So that's why we use it on the 250 and on the 350. On the 450 we already have enough torque. Yeah. The silencers are also for each displacement. We have our own silencer. On the 250 you see here there's a ball type of screen at the end to reduce the noise. On the 350 we have a double cone, on the 450 a single cone system in the silencer. Also the length is different. So we spend a lot of time reducing the noise, but on the other hand, with this solution we even didn't lose performance. So our test riders, they prefer this solution compared to the more noisy 2012 solution.
Well, I know the exhaust department and you guys, we were really very busy in order to achieve this goal. Everybody knows if you have to come down with the noise, usually you kill the power. But as you said, our test riders, they even prefer the new systems against the previous ones.
And still we have the option that you can mount the enduro silencer, which is for some areas important. For sure, they are running much too rich then, but it's possible to run and more quiet enduro silencer.
Yeah. Good. Cooling system, a new material in order to make the radiators more kind of flexible without breaking them. And the brakes, they feature new carriers in order to fit the larger rear axle. Barney, actually, that was an excellent job. Thanks a lot. Any questions? I would